Hello, this is Dan Sanford from the Academic Resource Commons. In this video, we're talking about managing your approach for tackling writing projects and your process for writing. Welcome to the Academy. Developing and sharing ideas through writing is what we do here. Writing is a major focus of a Bates education, and in your time at Bates, you'll grow in your ability to craft arguments, incorporate evidence, bring in other authors' ideas to support your own, and change the way you write to adapt to different audiences and different situations. One aspect of writing that's foundational to all of these is time management. Writing is both an effective means of demonstrating learning and a powerful tool for learning in and of itself. New college writers sometimes compress the writing process, devoting inadequate time and planning to its various parts, and thereby hampering their ability to write in a way that effectively accomplishes either of these functions. One of the most important ways that you'll develop as a writer starting in your first year seminar, but throughout your time at Bates, is in developing a beneficial process for writing that reduces stress and allows adequate mental space for the fluidly interconnected activities of planning, drafting, and revision. Writing is an incredibly effective means of thinking through ideas. The act of writing a paper is a process of fleshing out and organizing one's thinking on a topic, crafting arguments and filling in gaps in thinking. This is an amazing aspect of writing. It's also, at times, incredibly inconvenient. It can be unbelievably frustrating to complete half of an essay and then realize that your thinking has changed in a way that alters the overall organization of the project. As you work on developing the writing process that you'll use in college, think about how you can think and plan as much as possible before committing to a final organization for your piece of writing. Create a plan for writing papers, spanning from getting your prompt to handing in a final product that reflects your best effort with no undue stress and no sleepless nights. A healthy writing process has three parts: planning, drafting, and reviewing. In class. Your courses are at the center of your experience as a student, and the way that you engage with your courses during class time will make a huge difference in your experience. The secret to getting the most out of your class is to be an active learner. One of the most common mistakes that new college students make is to think of themselves as a spectator or as an audience member in their courses. This is an enormous tactical error in time management because when you use class time to engage critically with the material, you'll reduce the time that you'll need to spend working to master course concepts outside of class. Even more important, however, is the fact that adapting a passive role in the classroom places you in the least advantageous role with respect to retaining and processing information. All learning is active learning. Nothing is retained in long-term memory where it can be recalled for later use until it's integrated with things you already know. The integration of new information with existing knowledge structures takes place as you utilize, categorize, evaluate, and otherwise manipulate and apply new material. This will take on different meanings in different courses, but it always corresponds to a habit of mind of intellectual curiosity towards the material being covered. This means participating fully in class discussion. It means approaching lectures with clearly articulated questions and goals regarding concepts that you seek to have clarified. It means taking every opportunity to ask clarifying questions of the instructor and talking with other students, comparing notes, sharing impressions, debating ideas, and arriving at a shared understanding about the material of the course. Planning. Writing papers does not need to be stressful. Starting early and giving yourself plenty of time for planning is the key to writing in a way that supports your learning by filling in gaps in your thinking. First, decide on a working title, topic, and thesis. The most painful part of getting started on a paper is often deciding what you'll write about. Get that out of the way as soon as possible so you can get to work. You can always change it later. This is the best possible time to speak to a writing tutor. You can clear up any misunderstandings you have about the prompt before they become crystallized in your writing and get feedback on your initial ideas while it's still easy to make changes. 2. Start a document for your paper. Writing generally becomes a lot easier once you've started setting pixels to pages. Create a file and place your title, topic, and thesis at the top of the document. 3. Start taking notes for your project. Use the document you created as a repository for all of your thoughts on the project. Make sure that every idea you have, things you want to talk about, topics you want to cover, sources you're interested in using, arguments you want to make, gets included. Don't worry about creating fluent prose or complete sentences. Just get ideas down. As ideas come to you, record them. As you go about your days, every time you have an idea related to the project, open the document and make a note of it. As your thinking evolves, you may start to have ideas about specific sentences you want to write or paragraphs you want to include. Place these ideas in the document close to other related notes. Another way you can actively engage with the material of your courses is by taking notes. Taking notes fulfills two important functions. The first is to create a record of the information covered in lecture in order to facilitate later studying. This goal is certainly an important one, as missing information reduces the utility of your notes as a tool for review after class and in preparation for quizzes and exams. The second, more valuable goal for note-taking is as a tool for learning in itself. Note-taking prompts you to mentally organize the material, grouping similar concepts together, placing related concepts under headings, noting connections between old and new information, identifying points of uncertainty, helping you to far more effectively learn concepts and retain information. Notably, the second goal also serves the first. It's nearly impossible, without writing down every single word, to create a full record of a lecture. Organization is what makes it possible for note-takers to create useful documents for later studying. Make a regular, daily practice of taking notes in class. In your note-taking, don't worry about trying to copy down every word. It's much more important to use notes as a tool for learning by synthesizing ideas and imposing a meaningful organization on them than it is to create a full and accurate record of everything that happened in class. Less is more, and the goal is to process information rather than to transcribe the instructor. Drafting. In the time management video, we talked about creating study sessions for each of your courses. In each of your dedicated study sessions for that class, work on your document for a little bit. Writing is extremely cognitively demanding, so try to limit your writing sessions to about 45 minutes to 1 hour. When you're drafting, follow these steps. First, using the document you already created for your notes, create an outline. Move related note sources and ideas adjacent to one another. Consider what organization may be emerging and what argument structure may suit your thesis. And move sections into an intuitive order and create headings to label your sections. Second, create a draft. Begin writing wherever you have the clearest sense of what you want to say. Within each section, use your notes as raw material. As your writing spurs and changes your thinking, be sure to record your ideas in your notes for other sections. Introductions and conclusions are hard to write until you have a clear vision of the overall project, so it often works best to save these for last. Out of class. The next thing for you to consider is how you spend your time outside of class. Remember, in college courses, the expectation is that for every hour you're spending in class, you're spending another 2 to 3 hours outside of class engaged with that course. This is your time to study, read, do homework, write papers, meet in study groups, and access academic support like ARC or the Math Stats Workshop, or go to office hours. It's important for you to dedicate time in your schedule for each class. As a student, you have a lot to do. All these obligations create stress, and stress makes it highly difficult to learn effectively. Creating blocks of time devoted to a single purpose, for example, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., I'm working on Biology 382, gives you time to attend to everything that you need to do for that course, meeting upcoming deadlines, daily reading, homework, and all other responsibilities. At the end of that dedicated time, you should put the course away and move on to other topics which are equally deserving of your dedicated attention, making sure that each course gets its full allotment of time. Critically, during the time allotted for a course, try not to worry about anything else other than that course. Focusing on one course and/or assignment at a time is a critical way of reducing stress and focusing your cognitive resources. Bringing attention and mindfulness to one thing at a time, applying one's full capabilities to that task, is the way to do one's best work and to learn effectively. Reviewing. Devote the last week or few days to making changes to your draft, revising and editing your work to make it as effective as possible in accomplishing its purpose. First, seek feedback. Feedback can come from writing tutors, your PWSA, others in the class, your instructor, or others. Whoever you seek feedback from, be sure to give them clear guidance on what type of feedback you hope to receive. If another reader isn't an option, give yourself enough time that you can approach your own writing with fresh eyes and try to see it as a reader. Record your feedback. 2, revise based on the feedback you've gotten. Make changes based on the feedback you received or on your own reading of the completed text. And 3, repeat steps 1 and 2 as many times as possible. Every cycle of feedback and revision will make your paper more effective. Finally, edit. Once your paper has been revised to its final form, you can edit to ensure final polish in word choice, citation, and sentence structure. A question to consider as you think about how these ideas apply in your classes. Whatever major or course of study you decide on at Bates, you'll be doing a lot of writing. How can you start building writing habits as a first-year student that will help you to manage all the writing you'll be doing as a sophomore, junior, and senior? And an activity to put all this in action. Identify a large writing project that you have this semester. Using the guidelines here, map out the process that you'll use for the project. Remember, you never need to be on your own with any of this. The ARC Writing and Language Center is a good place to write, connecting with others in your courses, and also to talk to a tutor about writing and about time management for writing.